Should I?
I just have mine on my shirt.
Yeah.
I think that's a better idea.
Oh man.
Cool.
Awkward.
Little shot of Jake.
Yeah, all right.
That's
Okay.
solid.
I did some abs today.
Yeah, there you go. You can show for everybody. Too.
Yeah.
I like that.
Oh, nice. Can you take all our toys away?
Just sit here.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello. Hi. Welcome
Thank you.
to a little show that we're going to call Hardcore Yappin', where I myself, Jake, owner of Hardcore Barbell, and my co-host, Jameson. Introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Jameson. I'm the co-host and not the owner of Hardcore Barbell. I'm a powerlifter, and I like circles that are heavy.
Yes, great. And that's a great segue, friend. We can start talking about what the content of our little show here is going to be about. I'm really excited to talk about a lot of gym-related things, meaning everything from the topic of today's episode, spotting, specifically for squats today, but we'll talk about really just spotting in the gym in general, all the way to steroid use, to competitions, to resting, to recovery, to programming, all the stuff. I want to talk about all the things. That being said, I think it makes a lot of sense to start off by introducing each other, and I want to play a game.
Ooh, I like games.
Yes. We're going to play a game. I want you to describe me in 3 words, and then I'm going to describe you in 2 words.
Why do I have 3 and you get 2?
Because I've had time to think about it.
Oh, okay.
So I need to be more, right?
All right. Okay. You go first, so I don't have anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
do you want to, how about this? Okay. You're going to have to go first.
Okay.
Because it's going to make sense, right?
Yeah.
Because if we do you, me, you're going to have to end and start.
So I do 1 and then you do 1.
Yes.
Okay. Tall.
Ooh. All right. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Okay. Gonna easy pick here. I'm going with strong.
Oh, you're so nice.
Yeah. Careful. You only get, wait, never mind.
I get 2 more.
You get 2 more.
I get 2 more.
Mm.
Well composed. I want to hyphenate it.
Ooh.
I like that.
Wow.
That fits you really well.
It feels like cheating.
It's not.
I'm with you on the hyphenation.
Yeah.
So on a technicality, you get off.
And if I say just composed, I don't feel like that's enough.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Okay. This is tough. I only have 1 more.
You only have 1 more.
Strong and, ooh, okay, easy one. Passionate.
That's fair. I like that.
That's a good one. Because you do care about things.
I do. And I think this one where it fits, because we've talked about this a lot, nerdy.
Yeah.
In like the best connotation.
Yeah.
In like the best connotation. I think that fits you really. Like, it fits kind
Yeah.
of us, but like, I think that's something that you like resonate with personally.
Okay, awesome. Yay. That was a fun game. I liked that. Oh, we're in sync on that one. Let's transition a little bit. I think normally at the start of the show, I want to do things like catch up, what's going on, what's new right now. I think the big thing for both of us coming up is next week we're competing.
Yeah,
we are both powerlifters, and we're both powerlifting in the same meet, in the same weight class, which I feel awful about, but that's all right. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's a get back on the horse for me.
Yeah.
So
I agree. Yeah.
Are you excited?
I'm so excited. And I want to point out for everybody that's listening, if anybody is listening or ever decides to listen in the future, Jake's not, when he talks about getting back on the horse, you can laugh for a second. That's fine. I thought it was funny. When Jake's talking about getting back on the horse, Jake has no calf on one of his legs.
I did tear my Achilles, yeah.
The whole muscle is just gone, and he's still as strong right now as he was a year ago pre-calf tear.
Well, we'll see.
Okay, I'm going to tell you right now.
Jury's out.
I'm going to say right now he is. In 6 more days, when we have competition proof, they'll be posted too. I know he is. Jake will. You cannot be confident. I am confident in you.
It's early to pull this card.
Okay.
But I'm already going to go to producer and say, hey, Kai, did I not fail a bench yesterday?
You did.
Yeah. I really hope that was audible.
So, yeah, but like even still, like the same, and this is something I talk to clients all the time about, is like the last week of training is when you fail. Like that's when you're intended to fail. Is like that's the heaviest training is going to be. You have the most fatigue. Usually, like a lot of people are trying to like monitor or measure their weight, their food, like what they're doing on a daily basis. Like everything
stress is increased. Sure.
Everything is against you. And like I was saying earlier, we're both coaching at this meet.
True.
You have at least 2 people you're going to be coaching.
Yeah.
Through this meet, you're trying to monitor all their work and your work and run a gym. Like you have a high stress response.
Okay. We're getting off topic. We are competing.
Yeah.
I'm excited. You're excited. You're gonna do some big things. You're excited. Maybe not any PRs, platform PRs, maybe.
We might.
Okay.
There's gonna be a couple. We're looking at hopefully a little bit on deadlift, past what I did in my last.
Okay.
Either whatever happens in my 3rd deadlift, as long as I get one, it'll be a PR.
Cool.
Bench has some big potential for PR. If I continue with both my pecs attached, it'll be fine.
Yeah. Big if. Big if true.
Big if. Like
Big if true. Okay.
Yeah.
We will talk all day long. So we're gonna try to really hard keep on not schedule, but
direction.
Yes. That's kind of what's going on with us. We'll have an update in our next episode, how we did, all that stuff, how things are going, whatever else is going on in the fitness world. Happy to talk about all that. So we're going to start with a joke, a cold open, something like that. We'll talk about what's going on. And then we're going to move to our main topic of the day, which is today spotting top to bottom. And today we're going to talk about squatting. There's so much to unpack here, and I'm going to ask you some questions, okay? And I want to have a back and forth conversation about it, and we'll just chat about how you feel about spotting and all the things.
Depends on the weight.
Exactly. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start there, right? Let's start with why.
Yeah. Spotting is an interesting thing because there's a lot of different purposes for it, and one of the things that I wanted to bring up with this is kind of like the context is there's so much range in what we do for powerlifting. I might die. I've spotted some squats that are over 800 pounds, and that person, like I've seen injuries in person where somebody's squatting 800 plus and hurts themselves.
Me too.
They either don't have a spotter or don't have the right spotters.
Brian Gifford, when he hurt his hamstring here at Hardcore a couple of years ago, I was spotting him. It was terrifying.
Yeah, and that was an 800 pound
Shout out Brian. It was also
an incredible lift.
Yeah.
Look at Brian.
Who's also competing this weekend?
Let's go.
Say this app.
I don't remember it.
At Brian Gifford. I don't know. I don't remember his name.
It might be at Brian Gifford.
It might be at Brian Gifford. I don't know. But
good shout, though.
Just look up his name and you'll find him.
There's not that many people that have 2,000 pound totals in the world, all right?
Yeah.
He's probably the only one named Brian Gifford.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so the context is huge. Like for powerlifting, it's very much I might die, make sure I don't die.
Yeah.
For like stuff like bodybuilding, it's very much, hey, get me an extra few reps so I can increase my hypertrophy.
Sure.
There's, we can even talk about spotting in like gymnastics. And like, I don't have the skill enough yet. Please help me finish this so I get
or make sure I don't get hurt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of range. Why spotting is
those kind of feel the same as bodybuilding powerlifting, actually. I see some parallels there.
Very similar, yeah. And add like force reps, same thing. Like spotting is a force.
Yeah.
Do force reps for powerlifting. So there's a lot of context for why we do these things, but at the end of the day, we're pushing a limit that may or may not be attainable, and we need somebody else to guarantee that we have a fallback plan.
Okay.
And that's, I think, the end of all spotting is, hey, this may or may not be possible. If I am close to dying, don't let me die.
It feels like we've gotten from your answer, it feels like we've gotten two big glaring branches. Okay. Yeah. One is safety, which is great, right? Safety is number one. We're healthy. We like to work out. Why do we like to work out? Because we want to be healthy, right? And we want to live a long life, blah, blah, blah. Cool. Do all the things. Lifting's good.
Angry at the world. I want to lift heavier so I don't have to worry about it.
Yes, but you want to keep doing that.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
and so to keep doing that, you need to do it safely.
Agreed.
Right? So safety is very important. Yes. There's also this other part that we kind of touched on briefly for the bodybuilder thing and the gymnastics thing, where talking about hypertrophy. Yeah. Okay, hypertrophy, walk me through the word.
Oh my God. Hypertrophy is such a loaded word right now. Because there's so much. Like,
define it for me.
Yeah, because
Jameson's definition, and then we can talk about all the shenanigans after that.
Okay, so we'll go like my definition of hypertrophy. It is loading tissue in a way that is strenuous to a point of development, but not to a point of failure or maximal output.
Interesting. I think a lot of people would not disagree with that, but have some qualms. They might raise a hand.
And that's why like when I get into this, it's like very much this is a very tough question because hypertrophy's also had a lot of different definitions over the last like 10 to 12 years.
Yeah.
There's a lot. So right now, there's a huge push for the like absolute failure methodology. Like the Sam Sulek has pushed this idea of like full failure as being very successful. And I'm not saying it wouldn't be.
Sure. But the go tell you can't and then do partials.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That full failure.
Yeah, exactly. So like that would be, my definition doesn't quite go to that degree, partially because of when I came up through bodybuilding, and then like also just my personal views of how
I think it also
works.
Depends on how you define failure. Right? If we talk about how does a muscle grow?
Well, it's stimulus.
And little micro tears, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, we have a...
Man, okay. Google here for the win, okay.
Yes. Producer, hypertrophy, dictionary.com says the enlargement of an organ or tissue from the increase in size of its cells. This is the hypertrophy of muscle fibers.
This is also a definition in the term. We're talking about the type of training.
Okay.
So the term is hypertrophy training. That is the goal of hypertrophy training, but hypertrophy training itself, how to complete it, would be a different question.
Okay. So something I wanted to touch on there where it said the word cells. I love biology. Big science guy.
Yeah.
Big like independent variable proof is in the numbers kind of person. Okay. So I'm going to really cut a lot of corners here because we don't need a biology lecture.
Sure.
Lift heavy thing.
Yeah.
Muscle go wow. Little tear.
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
Lift heavy thing. Muscle big tear. Go ow.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
What's the difference? Right? Do you see what I'm saying? Like that's hypertrophy. And we are trying to safely get there. I totally agree. I actually really like your definition because hypertrophy doesn't necessarily mean failure. Failure is great, but a big failure is literally your muscle tearing, right? And that is the same goal as hypertrophy. We're trying to get those little muscle tears because they grow back together a little bigger, a little stronger. That's the biology of things. I've done a little bit of research. I went to school and did the things. Cool. Yes. Yay.
Paper says I'm smart. I can't read
more from the producer. Yeah, that's tiny. No. Veto.
Yeah, we're trying to be shown something on a Google webpage, and it's probably like 15 feet.
Okay.
I'm exaggerating.
The words were micro trauma and challenge of the muscle.
Yeah, so, and I'll answer your question.
But that's like right on the money, right? Like that's what we're talking about.
That's exactly how.
So we talked about safety, we talked about hypertrophy.
Yeah.
Right? Those are the two reasons why we spot people.
Yeah.
And they kind of actually come back together.
They do.
Right? Because safety is, well, don't get squished by 800 pounds. Or, right, if I tear my pec, lift this weight off me. They're kind of the same. Even though hypertrophy is, I want a bunch of micro tears. I want to get it as ripped up as possible. I want to be really tired, right? That's kind of the goal.
Right.
We're skipping a lot of detail here.
So much.
But that's okay. I think the idea, the crux of the information is there.
Yes.
So mostly it's for safety. Let's just call it all for safety. We spot for safety. Sure. And that's great. If you are in the gym working out, when are you going to ask for a spot?
Okay, yeah, me personally, it's typically around like, oh God, I don't want to do numbers. I don't have a percentage necessarily.
Don't worry about it.
I would say it's when the weight is outside of a standard working range.
Okay.
It's like I know that like if I'm going to do a set of like 80% for 5 or 80% for 2, I can do that. Once it's to a range of like, oh, I haven't done this in a long time. This is something outside of what I've typically been exposed to. It's outside of like what I've done for the last few months.
Sure.
When we're exceeding that weight range or rep range even, I'm less confident. And as soon as that confidence dips is when I need somebody else to support me.
Okay.
And it's half the confidence of if I suck,
if
I absolutely fold in half, they're going to make sure I don't get like smashed.
Oh.
And
all right. Yes, I hear you.
And so that's when it for me is like the confidence decrease, the spotter, make sure I'm good, and that's kind of what pulls me back up.
It's a comfort thing, right? It is if I am not comfortable, ask for help. And I really let's make that abundantly clear. I'm in support of spotting. Please ask me for a spot whenever. If you don't feel comfortable, even if you just want me to watch you, I'll watch you. I don't care. Yes, I'm at the gym all day long. Love to spot people. Love to work out. It's great. Yes. Cool. So please don't not ask for a spot or ever be scared to. If you're uncomfortable, ask for help. There's somebody that's willing to help you always.
And in most gyms, there's never a reason not to.
Yeah.
Go find the biggest dude in your gym.
Yes.
And he will spot you.
I love this.
100%.
This is a really good point.
Yeah.
I think people are intimidated by the biggest dude in the gym when that guy is probably the most supportive dude you will ever meet.
9 times out of 10, I would say that's true because that guy has been through all the stages of lifting. He was where you were. Like, what I get comments like this pretty often because I've been lifting for a very long time.
You're huge,
like,
yes.
Well, like, I'm a moderately big guy, I guess. Like, and so like I get a lot of comments like this, like, oh, well, I didn't know if I should talk to you or like what if I was going to waste your time, whatever. I started in the gym at 11. I was extremely overweight. I was very unhealthy.
11 years old.
11 years old, yeah. And so like I was extremely unhealthy. I was overweight. I was working out with these guys who were very high level pro bodybuilders and absolutely horrified to even look at them because it's like, no, you don't want to see me here. I'm not supposed to be.
We're not the same being.
Exactly. So these are gods in my eyes.
Yeah,
these
like
are
Greek gods. Literally. Yeah, for sure.
So like me going around the gym was like this like timid, intimidated person. I didn't want to be there. I didn't know what I was doing. Like I was uncomfortable. And I was there. I wasn't that person. I was the gym bro that was doing like max trap, like, you know, like shoulder shrugs because a buddy of mine said he could do more than me. And so we spent 45 minutes trying to outdo each other in the gym, you know. I was the guy that did abs for 2 hours in the gym because like, this is going to get me shredded. Like I've done everything. Yeah. So like I've been through all these phases. And I think that everybody out there, the guy who's the biggest in your gym, the most successful lifter has been through those phases. Yeah. They've been through the experience of being a bad lifter, a young lifter,
needing help, not asking for it.
Yeah, they've tried bodybuilding probably at some point. They came in, I want to be like Arnold. Like, you know, they've done all these things. They've been where you are. And if you come and say, hey, I want help, I want support, they're going to give it to you most of the time. Yeah. You know, as long as like, I would say the only caveat to that is if you're just like wasting time and getting a spot for like a 40% bench press you're doing a set of 50 with, probably not going to spot you.
Yes, within reason, like everything. Of course.
You know, absolutely. But they're always going to be supportive. So to your point, 100% always ask for a spot. If you are not sure you can do it, get somebody to help you.
Okay. I want to talk about actually the whole reason that we started this podcast. Really quick. Yeah. I made a video a while back. I put it on my Instagram and I was kind of ranting about how people don't know how to spot. Yeah. So when you are asking for a spot or spotting someone, and let's start with a squat, okay? Yeah. And you're the only spotter. Yep. Okay. How are you going to spot them? What is your, what's the first thing you're going to do?
Okay, so first thing, and this is an important aspect because I've seen a lot of videos on this and it's overlooked very often. The very first thing you do is ask them what they're doing.
Dude, oh my God, thank you.
Yeah. It's so important and it's so overlooked because the thing is, if you just say, yes, the second they finish rep 1, I'm going to go grab the bar because my first thought is you're going to max out. And if you smoke a single, I'm going to help you put it away. Yes. And I'm probably going to ruin your day. Yeah. And I'm going to be really sad for the rest of my day because I ruined your day.
Yes.
And so like
I love that you started with asking a question. Yeah. Right? Just you need to be involved in what's going on. You're being asked for help.
Yes.
Immediately, your first thing should be like, okay, I need details, right? Who are you? How do you lift heavy normally? Have I seen you before? Does this look like a lot of weight for you? Yeah. Like and this is a lot of situational awareness. And I understand not everybody has this in the gym. They're too focused on what they're doing, but really when somebody asks you for a spot, they're asking for safety, right? We just went over this. Yeah. So safety is predicated on situational awareness. You need to know what's going on around you to be able to ensure that the predicted outcome is what's going to happen. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So you need to look at things like how much weight are they doing? How big are they? Right. All these things. How many reps are they going to do? Right. Do they look nervous? Like all of these things matter when you're spotting.
And on that line too, I think that something that's important is you mentioned a lot of questions that you would say, right? Yeah. Who are you? Do I know you? Yeah. There's also 2 lines for this because I'm not going to ask a lot of questions if somebody is already nervous, like you said.
A lot of those were rhetorical.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's like talking to your own brain.
Yeah, I just want to I want to make sure that's clear to people who are new to this or don't have the same experience. Like those are a lot of rhetorical questions because I don't need to know your name to spot you. No, I need to know like how many are you going to do? Yeah. What do you need from me?
Yeah. What are you expecting from me?
Exactly. Like what should I be doing for you? And then, you know, things like understanding I don't get right on top of somebody the first time I spot them.
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of watch
I give a lot of
to see their
space.
first squat because I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And you're going to get a different response from every single person. Everybody has a different squat. So, so from that, right, like I'm going to ask them, cool, what's the goal? How many are you doing? What do I need to do?
Okay.
And I'm going to do the very first thing, right? And then I'm going to say, am I the only person spotting you? And I want to ask that question because it's a very different situation having 1, 2, or 3 spotters or 5 spotters. You know,
Yeah.
I've been to meets where there's 7 spotters on a platform before because they needed it, right?
Yeah.
So
let's talk about it in the gym.
Yeah. So that's the first step, right? Like ask the question, what are you doing? And then what do you expect from me? And then finding out kind of how many spotters there are. And usually if I'm the only person, right?
Okay, let's go with 1. Yeah.
I'm a back spotter.
Okay.
You're going to spot from the back.
Yep.
And
you should.
Yeah.
It's if you are the solo spotter, that is the best way you can support somebody that is in need of your help.
There's a lot that goes into this too, here because just the act of single spotting somebody, how you hold your arms matters. Is this person recording the side from the front? Do they need to have certain allowances for depth? Like how is their body structured?
Yeah.
So typically you're spotting the back. Your arm should be straight down. Like on your side, on the side of the person, like directly behind them, but not hooked underneath them. You don't want to straddle them, right?
Yeah.
Because now you're in the way. Their body's going to fold onto itself. Some people need more space. Some people need less.
You can definitely get in somebody's way if they
fold either way.
I think Kai is a great example. Our producer, her arms are very, we did talk about this yesterday. Her arms are very close to her shoulders.
Yep.
And if somebody gets up under there and you're going to rip her arms off, right?
Yep.
So how the person squats matters too.
Yep.
I think the arms down is a really good point.
Yeah.
You don't want to be getting in their way.
Yeah. And I typically will start pretty decently far. Like I give myself like 3 feet away from somebody to start because you're going to see people dive bomb a squat and straight down to the hole. You're going to see people, like when I squatted for a long time, I would take 25 seconds to get to the bottom of the squat because
it's crazy.
It's a lot. Because I had to be in such a high level of control to feel like I was going to do anything. So it's different now. But so
just had to slip that in there.
Just in case coach is watching, I'm not doing that now. I promise.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I like hands down by the side.
Yeah.
Somebody starts to fail.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's assume it's a dude.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because there is a very real difference.
Yes.
We have bodies. They are different.
It depends also because there is a difference, but how that difference matters is going to change.
Yeah.
Because when I'm spotting anybody, my first thing is to underhook the arms.
Yep.
I'm going to go to the shoulder, and I can do that either way.
Talk to me why.
Space.
Yeah.
Just because like I need to get underneath that bar.
Okay.
I need to support that person's chest and torso because that's what's going to fall.
Yeah.
If you grab their waist, you're not going to help anybody.
No.
You grab the bar, you're not going to help anybody.
Yeah.
I'm not bicep curling anything anybody's squatting.
No, not reasonably.
No, there's no way. Even if you're squatting 135, I'm going to tear my bicep off if I try to curl that like as fast as you're falling down. There's no way.
Yeah, agree.
So yeah, I mean, like I'm going to try to get underhooks in front of their shoulders and hold onto the shoulder, and I'm going to try to stand up with you.
Yeah,
that's ideal if you can. Somebody like what you mentioned with Kai, where your arms are right in here, that's much harder.
Yeah.
Right. So now it does matter a little bit more how we're going to navigate that. And my initial response will be the same. In that case, depends on how they're failing. Like if I can provide a little bit of support and help and get them back up, great. If you're failing, I'm going to do whatever I can to get you back up. Yeah. Or guide you down to the rack. I think that's a big portion. I think that gets over.
I think so too. Yeah, doesn't have to be up. Doesn't have to be up. Especially here at the gym at Hardcore, we have a couple different like places to squat, and we have tons of like safety mechanisms for that kind of stuff. Not all gyms do, right? And that's okay. But it kind of depends on your environment for sure. If you're working with somebody that is working with a lot of weight, something that they are probably shouldn't be handling or are irresponsibly handling in a public-ish gym that doesn't have a great support system, going down is not a great idea, right? But that makes getting up sometimes really complicated.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of, usually I really like there to be more than one spotter.
I agree. And that's actually what I was going to bring up next.
Go for it.
Was because if I see somebody squat and I'm like, I can't spot you for this weight. Like I know I can't. either because it's too heavy, the way that you squat is a way that I cannot support you
Mhm.
because I can't get in a position that will help you move back up,
Yep.
or whatever else. Right. Kai pointed at herself.
I had the two boys spot me
Yep.
yesterday.
Yeah. So in that case, if you're at a commercial gym, go ask the people at the desk. If
Yeah.
you're in any, like, try to find somebody else. And as the spotter, that's also your responsibility. That
Yeah.
person's coming up to you to ask for help. Help them get help.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
you think you cannot help them,
Yeah.
then you need to ask for help as well.
Yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
totally okay. Do it.
Yeah.
Like, yes,
Yeah.
again, safety. That's the thing we're aiming for here.
Yeah.
I think that's super important to touch on.
Yeah.
Um,
I wouldn't also say that, like, it's the spotter's job to get a second spot. It's
No.
your responsibility to tell them I can't do this myself.
yes.
But at the end of the day, the lifter is the person responsible for getting a spot. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to put that out there too, because I think that that's something that should be stated. It is your job to get a spotter, your job to be spotted properly, because you are expected to give the information.
Yes. I think this is just as much about the spottee
Yes.
as it is
absolutely.
the spotter.
I agree.
Because we kind of all exist in the same environment, right?
Yeah.
If you are in the gym, you hopefully
Yeah.
are willing to help people.
Yeah. Yeah. Most of the time, yeah.
That's what I mean is the spotters are the spotties, right? We're working hard, and so sometimes you might need some help, right? That goes for everybody.
Yeah.
So being willing to help people is really important, but also being able to communicate what you need
Yes.
and articulate it is important.
Because nobody else knows what you can do.
hmm
Like, as much as I might
That's
see these
true.
people every single day,
Yeah.
it's really because I lift a decent amount of weight most of the time. And most people have no idea what I'm lifting or what I can lift. When I
Yeah.
say, oh, I need a spot, they're like, well, how much is this? What are you doing today? And I'm like, well, it's a little on the bar. And like, my first thought is, oh, it's this. And
Yeah.
it's not their job to know what I'm doing.
You are, yes.
You know?
I think this is a really good take.
Yeah.
Nobody is as familiar with your routine and program as you are.
And they can't be. They can't
Right?
be.
Why would they be? Even if
Yeah.
you guys work out at the same day or on the same day at the same time, 3 times a week.
Yeah.
There's just no way for them to, unless they're weird,
Yeah. No, right,
to keep
right. Yeah.
to keep mental notes on like how much you lift regularly. Like that's
Yeah.
nobody does that. They don't care enough about you.
Yeah.
So it's really important that you, as the spottee, can. If they're not asking, let them know.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Communication is so important when it comes to these things.
There's a
Go for it.
there's a member here, Logan, who's competing also actually with us this weekend. And Logan is a great example because I talk to Logan almost every single day for a while. Like we know each other very well.
Yeah.
We're good friends. We talk about lifting for hours. And he's a newer lifter. And I've handled him at a meet. He's an incredibly strong lifter for being so new,
strong.
especially, man. He's really good. But okay, I need a second. That's incredible. That's incredible.
She's almost done.
One of the
Crazy
pieces got
Rubik's Cube.
twisted. So I have to figure out which one got
Can
twisted.
you toss that over here because I want to show them what we're looking at. This is a Rubik's Cube, apparently, that is made of fives, like stars and pentagons.
Pentacube.
I have to figure out which one got twisted
Pentagon.
to solve it.
And this was completely messed up like 40 minutes ago, and she's just been sitting here fixing this. This is the most impressive thing I've seen all day. I don't know how long it's been, Jake. Don't quote me.
I'm stuck on shape names.
Pentagon?
Dodecahedron.
That's 10.
I'm just talking about the faces.
Dodecahedron.
I'm just talking about the faces.
Yeah.
Pentagram.
Yeah.
Pentagram is the one. Well, I
Pentagram
guess
is the devil.
technically.
It's the
Yeah.
devil's
Okay.
thing.
Anyways.
Back to topic.
I don't think what else do you want to touch on? What do you feel like we haven't said about spotting? We've really focused on squats.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
let's quickly touch on
Well-
bench and deadlift because powerlifting, I guess.
Yeah. Deadlift's a funny one, actually. We'll talk
Deadlift
about-
is an interesting one
I
for
think we talk about
sure.
Bench first. Because
It's way
quicker.
there's more to it for sure. Deadlift will be
yeah.
interesting, but let's talk about bench.
Yeah.
And let's not try to dive too deep in on the lift off
Yeah.
because
Oh
that's
my
a
God.
whole thing.
It's also
Um,
it's a brush stroke. Every person's going to have a slightly different thing they say and ask for.
Yes.
So it's not going to be widely applicable no matter what we say.
I don't. Okay, I'm gonna let this one
We're
go.
here for. Speak your mind.
So I've been told I give the best lift offs.
Oh, do you now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, a nod from the peanut gallery.
I like your lift offs.
I feel attacked right now. Right?
In your defense, she said you were like also really, really good. Comparable.
Better.
The only lever up that Jake has is the speed that he does it at.
That's fair. That makes
Yours
sense,
isn't
actually.
too fast. Now, too fast is way fucking worse than anything.
Yeah.
It's a little too slow.
That's fair.
Liftoffs are
But
so
I'd rather it be too slow than
nuanced.
Agreed. Yeah.
They're so nuanced.
Yeah. And so, like, liftoffs are really interesting, actually. And I'm glad that you brought this up.
Okay, let's go.
I know, but that's where you're.
I know. Spit. What you got?
Yeah, it's fun because they're so nuanced. Every single person, like I said, we're just going to give you a different thing,
Mhm.
and it all matters about like how you're delivering that weight to the person. Like no
Mhm.
matter what else happens, the end of the goal is to get that weight on top of that person, where they're able to build good tension, where they're able to stay stable, and they're able to start the motion without needing to change anything.
Yeah.
And to that same point that Kai's making, like I go very slowly because I don't know anything. Like most of the time when somebody says, "Hey, can you spot me? Can I need a lift off?" They don't give you all these details. I'm going to go
Well,
slow.
and there's like a whole relationship there, right?
So much.
With like the more you spot somebody, the more you lift off for them, the more you know about them, right?
Yeah.
And so we were just talking about how even if you spend time with somebody, like you might not learn their patterns unless you're like coaching them or watching videos of them. And that's a whole different, I think we will eventually talk about coaching because I think we both do some coaching on different levels and of different athletes, but it's something we both have different experiences on. And the relationship there is really interesting, but spotting somebody enough to learn what they like, that takes a lot. That is not a quick process. That's repetition.
It's a long process because you're not going to do more than like one or two spots per person.
Yeah.
Like it's never going to be that often.
Yeah.
And so you're going to get like during a block, let's say your block's 4 weeks.
Okay.
You're probably going to get 2, maybe 3 spots during that whole month. Right?
Yeah.
That's about it. So like somebody else just understanding your patterning is impossible.
2 or 3 spots in a block.
I think for standard, yeah. Like it depends on what your program looks like.
It does. It depends on the block.
We'll
it
say
depends
sessions.
on.
We'll say 2 or 3 sessions.
Okay. I mean, I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah.
But like that's to give that number. That's not a lot.
Not a lot at all, right?
Yeah.
But
so
if you think about it, like
so not only does it take somebody a long time to learn your patterns, it takes you a long time to learn what you like.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's a big because anything in the sport is about learning yourself.
Yeah.
And that's why like a big thing that we push for in the sport is compete regularly.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are never going to have that stimulus. You're never going to go through that experience if you don't just do it. And it's every time. I personally quote like 10 meets is when you learn how to take care of yourself at a meet. When you learn what you need and how you're going to respond properly.
What is it? 28 days to make a habit or something?
Yeah, something about that.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, so I say like if you've done 10 meets, is about where you're going to start to understand, here's what I need to eat, here's what I need to do, here's how I'm going to warm up, here's how I'm going to get handoffs. So like when you have a full pattern of here's how exactly my day needs to go for me to have a great day.
I'm halfway.
You're already getting there.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about spotting on bench. Bench feels like the most. I think we're only going to touch on powerlifting movements for today for spotting. I don't know. We could talk about a whole bunch of other stuff, but let's just stick with those for now.
Sure.
Because bench, even talking about bench, should really cover down on like dumbbell press, right? Because they're kind of similar. Anyways.
Yeah.
With bench, it feels like it is the most
sought out.
Yes, and like slow moving. There's a lot of times grinders.
Yep.
Okay. Not too many people will grind a squat or want to grind a squat, right? Most people, in fact, are probably capable of so much more than they think if they were willing to grind a squat, which is a conversation that I think a lot of you guys are not ready for. But that being said, is like people are willing to grind a bench, right? So having like, and this goes back to like telling somebody what to expect. I might say, help me if I need help. Or I might say, don't touch it unless I ask for help.
Yes.
And those are 2 very different instructions.
Yes.
And I think you're going to get those 2 different things based on who your person is, who your spotty is.
And their experience level.
Yeah.
Huge difference.
I think it's important to have what do they call that? Safety word.
Yes, safe word. If I say porcupine, take it off me.
Yes. Exactly. Because I might make some otherworldly noises, man. And that doesn't mean help me.
Yeah.
That just means I'm summoning everything I got.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No,
by the eye of Agamotto. Okay. I am obsessed with this game. We didn't talk about it at the beginning, and this would have been the best time to talk about it.
Okay.
At the beginning.
Before I came here.
I wanted to, and Felicia was trying to hang out. Hopefully she doesn't watch this, but that's okay. Marvel Rivals. I'm obsessed. Okay, anyways.
So fun.
I quoted a character.
Yeah.
I'm summoning all...
Doctor
Anyways, yep.
Strange, he's
Okay.
the best
Anyways.
Strange of the game.
He is. True.
Okay.
Based, as the kids say.
Oh.
I still don't know what that means.
Oh, I'm
I think it
hipper
comes
than
from,
you.
like 2016. It's like Lil B.
No. Wait.
I think it does.
I don't know. Let's talk about spotting.
Okay, go.
People are going to grind on bench.
I have to say this. You went so fast. You're like, oh my god, we'll play this game, Marvel Rivals. Back to spotting.
We made eye contact because I said a funny, and I needed someone that got it to like. And then I needed to let people know that like I'm not crazy.
I have no idea what's going on.
That's all right. That's okay. I
Okay.
do.
Okay, that's fine.
I almost brought the rogue with me to play while you guys talked.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
that would have been sick.
Yeah. So, for everybody watching, Kai put a little cube on her head, did something. Jake made a funny joke about a game that he plays that I don't know anything about. And
We'll
now
talk
we're back
about
to
it more,
spotting.
I'm sure.
We will.
Yeah, bench spotting.
More
Okay.
distraction.
There we go.
So if you're spotting someone on a bench and they're really grinding,
Yeah.
but they're making eye contact with you, or they're not. Okay, better yet, they're not making eye contact
Right.
with you. They are in it.
Yeah.
Are you touching that bar?
The cue that I think should be universal is if somebody asked you for a spot, that bar can do one of two things and you leave it alone.
Okay.
Go up or stay still.
Ooh.
And if it does anything else, you take the bar.
Okay, so
Right.
if it goes down?
If it go, basically yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, any other direction than up or staying, right? So like if they start to helicopter.
Oh,
If they
okay.
start to
Or
dip.
lateral moves. Sure.
if
Yeah.
they're losing control of the bar,
Yeah.
take it away.
Touch bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a humongous proponent of I would rather take a PR from you
Yeah.
than have you tear a pec.
That's
I'm
what I
so
do too.
sorry. Like,
Yeah.
I know that sounds awful and people regularly
So this
get
is-
mad at me for this, but I will, if you're like, if the bar is still, right? And I totally agree with you. I love your still or going up. Great. Don't touch it.
Yeah.
If it's still for too long, talk to me about like,
Oh, this
because
is-
eventually it's going to go down,
Yeah.
right? Eventually it is. And it's like, okay, what are they really getting out of
Yeah.
struggling for this other than maybe an injury?
So this is
It's,
this is so nuanced because
it is. It's so subjective.
there's so,
I know.
there's so much. I'm going to go for my position as a referee.
Okay.
When I,
Ooh,
when I
okay.
would say take
Yeah.
the referee.
That,
because
I love this. Yeah.
in the gym, I'm going to let you sit there for 45 minutes if that bar doesn't go down. I'm not going to lie. You can sit there for as long as you want. If that bar stays still, I'm going to keep watching.
It
until
just
stops.
becomes more impressive.
Yeah, exactly. That video is going to not get posted on Instagram, but you're going to love it for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Anyway, so as a referee, if you stopped moving, I will typically give it about 3 seconds. And it's a 1
That's a
Mississippi,
long
2
time.
Mississippi, 3
Yeah.
Mississippi, take the bar.
Yeah.
Because I've been the victim of having the bar taken too early when I stopped,
Sure.
when I slowed down.
Yeah.
A lot of people have. You're going to ruin somebody's whole day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In the sense of a competition, your mental state matters so much more than your physical state. You have to go in confident, certain you're going to do well. You have to be in a good mood for some part. Some people have different perspectives on this. Like good mood could be angry, it could be hyped up, it could be energized, whatever.
So you're saying if somebody rips away a PR from you, you're going to be pissed.
It's going to affect me. The rest
but
of the day.
and not in a good way.
No, yeah.
In a mad way.
I want to go home now.
Yeah.
So like that's the thing is that for me getting into that position, I will give you 3 seconds, 3 full
Okay.
seconds
Wow.
because at that point I'm certain you're not going up anymore.
It's just not.
It's just
Yeah.
not. And at
That's
that
not
point,
how biology works. You're not going
Right,
to summon
and-
more energy.
biology speaking, you're using energy.
Yeah.
You're wasting and burning energy.
Mhm.
And so I'm not taking it away for the sake of your health, your wellness, your fitness, whatever. I'm saying if you keep grinding, you're gonna lose strength in your deadlift.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna take this away from you now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
make you save energy so you do well in your deadlift.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a competition conversation,
It's a
but I
very
like it.
competition
Yeah.
conversation,
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Bench is so interesting because it's people are willing to grind, and
Yeah.
that's where it's different.
Yes.
Okay, let's touch on deadlift.
Do it.
When it comes to spotting deadlift, there's not a lot to it.
There's not, but there can be. So and I'll dig into this real quick because I have some new experience that I've gotten in the last like year from seeing some people spot deadlift.
Okay.
There's one gentleman who I don't know the name of who gets extremely focused on spotting everything.
I like that.
I actually really liked it a lot. I think that he was too close for me to feel comfortable deadlifting if it was me, but I loved the intention behind it. Because a lot of times you see the back spotter on deadlift, it's just kind of like the 18-year-old kid who doesn't really know anything, who's kind of like standing. If you even get a hand, right? Most of the time, they're just going to stand behind you. And if you pass out, they're going to be like, oh no, that's it. And this guy got down into like a quarter squat, and he was like
ready.
Sides. He was like sitting in a chair behind this guy.
Wow.
Like dead set, locked his eyes into the guy's hips. He was watching the entire time.
Yeah.
He had his hands ready at the sides.
Wow.
The whole time he was deadlifting. He followed him up like he was spotting a squat.
Yeah.
And as soon as the bar came back down, he undid the guy's belt, grabbed him, made sure he was okay, and like
how much was this guy deadlifting?
It was everybody.
Oh wow!
Everybody on the platform did the exact same thing for it. I was so impressed because like I've never seen somebody spot a deadlift.
I don't know if I want somebody unbuckling my belt.
So for me, I don't think it'd be a good fit.
Yeah, I don't think I like that. But then I could just turn and say, hey, please don't do that.
Yeah, and he was responsive to people who said that too. It was like more of a thing for me. It was a new experience. I had never seen that. And I really liked that level of attention. Like, I like that you're putting that much emphasis on your job. You're paying attention, you're focused, you're engaged in what you're doing, and you're trying to help the lifter. At the end of the day, everything he's doing is making your life easier. And that's the goal of everybody who's running a competition. Is to make your life easier.
And I think that's the biggest difference with deadlift is there's no
performance benefit.
No, yeah, right. With a squat, you can help them finish it, and you want to get the bar re-racked.
Yep.
But with a deadlift, the bar ends on the ground.
Yeah.
Starts and ends there.
Yep.
So you can't like help them, right? With a bench, you're over top of them, you can help them, and it's like, okay, I got you, cool.
Yep.
With a deadlift, you're more just
if you pass out,
protecting them. Ground. Yeah. Which happens.
So
happened at our last competition in October. We had a guy pass out. Yeah. It absolutely does happen. So I think spots on deadlifts, this is mostly, I guess this conversation is mostly for like if you're volunteering at a meet or something. And so I think that's why we're talking about competitions so much for deadlifting is just.
Well, there's no point. Deadlift is, and I'll make this point here quickly because deadlift is the safest possible exercise in the world.
Dude. Oh my gosh, what a hot take. I'm with you. I agree. But wow, we're going to get roasted alive for that one.
There's a lot of people who disagree with this.
Yeah.
I understand why you can say that, but if you are actually dead, like if you're a gym bro, you came into the gym yesterday for the first time, you load up 600 pounds, you're an idiot. I'm sorry. Don't do that.
True.
You need to be careful and patient and understand that this is a progress or this is a process and take your time. But if you're deadlifting and you're training and you're going in for a set of 3 and that first rep feels awful, let go. Just put it down and you're done and you're so fine. Open your hands. They do that function.
Man, I cannot. The amount of people that think they're going to hurt their back just because they deadlift. Okay, right? So now let's talk about that. Can you hurt your back deadlifting? Yes or no?
Absolutely, right?
Right?
With any loaded movement.
Okay. Great. Right.
Bicep curls.
Great answer. Can you get food poisoning from not cooking chicken all the way through?
You could die.
Right?
Also.
So if you do the thing, but can you eat chicken if you cook it properly?
I mean, you can eat chicken raw if you really want to. It's a gamble.
Okay.
You're gambling.
That's the point.
Go with the point.
Yes, you can.
Thank you. Right. So for the analogy, if you deadlift wrong, if you don't cook your chicken all the way through, there are potential bad consequences. If you are irresponsible, of course you can get hurt doing a dumb thing. Yes, if you are deadlifting properly, responsibly, if something feels too like listen to your body, you are not, it is only going to strengthen your back. That's what and you know what? That's what working out does.
Yeah, the thing is like
you work a thing out to make it stronger.